Welcome back to another preseason bonus content episode of Your Growth Unlocked. This is older footage, other footage, different from what we're regularly doing now. But in the meantime, we hope you enjoy this. This episode was called Administrative versus Creative. We broke this into two separate videos for you. Some of you saw it, many of you didn't. What we do in this video is we really break down when you have a side gig and you're trying to go side gig with six figures, real steps and how you have to separate your day between administrative stuff and now with the age of social media, interest media, some people call it, staying in front of people, you have to understand how you have to deal with creative. But there's an administrative side and then there's a creative side. I'll walk you through exactly how I have been able to do that. And I'm a little bit more administrative heavy than I am creative, but I actually walk you through that and how you can kind of balance that. Even if you only have a certain limited number of minutes in a day or a certain time, you have a first and 15th. And then on top of that, you may be dealing with kids, maybe you're dealing with school, maybe you even work in a second job. Okay. And how do you deal with that? You just have to dedicate so much time a day. We really go deep into that. If you have questions, send in your questions so we can do special dedicated coaches corner. We can answer those questions on camera. And we want to invite you to our Monday Titan strategy sessions that are happening on Mondays, 6:30 p.m. Virtual sign up, virtual mastermind. We problem solve, come up with solutions, get you past roadblocks, help you try to get to the next level that you want to get to. Whatever struggle you're dealing with, bring it. And we work collectively to figure out solutions and ideas that we can give you, and you can actually take action items today. Hit the link if you want to sign up and you want access so we can send you over the particulars of how you can get into the group. It is free, so no, it's not a thing where you hit and then when I'm hitting you with a money ask. Money ask comes later, but you can actually attend the virtual mastermind, get value out of it 100% for free. In the meantime, enjoy administrative versus creative part 1. And then after this, we will drop part 2. Send in your questions. See you next time. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Some of you are going to be watching the replay. This is Dewayne Hill. I am going to go through several things that if you have an idea when it comes to having a side idea and you want to take that full time, I'm going to show you exactly certain steps and how to do that. And on top of that, we're going to have this as a replay. So if any of you all who are not on the live, that's okay. You can watch the replay. I'm doing 2 different cameras right now. I got my main camera here, my systems camera with my studio lights and all that. And then I got something happening here on TikTok. I have not figured out how to make TikTok feed into this yet, but we will get that fixed. So the main thing we're going to be talking about, I got a really good question that a lot of you are asking, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it up now, which is right here. I'm going to answer this at the very end. And the reason why is because I'm going to show you some math that all of you can do, that you all can actually take and apply this to what you have going on. Okay. So this is a very popular question. This is a very common question. This is something where it's so risky. It's like, what do? You're making some money on the side. It's good. Or what happens when you feel like your side money is more, and it's like, kind of starting to kind of eclipse what you're making in your paycheck. When do you go ahead and let go of that anchor? And I got 2 different stories I want to share with you and how I was able to make that, and I had to deal with that myself. So for sure, no doubt. So I'm definitely going to go through that, but that's going to be the last question I'm going to answer is, when do you make the decision if you're going to go full time? When do you make that decision? You're making side money, decent money, it's starting to pick up. When do you make that decision and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make the jump full time. So I'll get into that here in a little bit. But the main thing I want to talk about is that if you're limited on time and you only have so much time in the day, I'm going to assume here, we're going to go pretty ridiculous. Okay. So I'm going to assume if any of you have a side idea and you're making some kind of money with it or some kind of decent money with it on the side. Okay, cool. I'm going to assume, let's say you have 2 jobs. And on top of you having 2 jobs, let's say you have 2 jobs and you have 8 kids. Okay. So you got 2 jobs and you have 8 kids. And I'm going to assume you have 2 jobs and 8 kids. And I'm going to assume that with those 2 jobs and 8 kids that you're a single parent. Okay. Oh, if you have that kind of situation, then heaven help you. I don't know what to tell you, but anyway, let's assume that you do. I'm going to show you something here in this video that's going to give you kind of a framework on how you can still move that train down the track as a small business owner, part-timer, side gigger, and it actually makes sense. There's 2 things you desperately need to do if you're going to make this happen. Here is the big thing that you desperately need to do. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share here, and we are going to get into it. Now, those of you who are on TikTok, and if any of you will watch this live on TikTok, check out my YouTube channel. And this isn't a push to go to my YouTube channel. I just don't have the tech to figure out how to do TikTok into my main studio setup yet. But hopefully by the next live, we'll do that. But for any of you, anyway, for you all on TikTok, you check out my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see this screen share. You all can just kind of follow along. I know it's not as dynamic as a screen share, but for everybody else, here's the deal. This is the main thing that you all have to do. You're going to have to take what you have. Okay. That's my logo. Isn't it nice? That's cool. Isn't it? Okay, cool. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do two things. The first thing is you have to understand that your business is set up in two frameworks. The first framework that you're set up in is creative. You're going to have to do creative stuff. The second thing that you have to do is you're going to have to do administrative. Those two things are things you're going to have to definitely do. If you have a side gig idea and you are taking your side gig in the full time, you need to understand that you have to split those two. And until you have a staff or until you have workers and employees doing this, you're going to have to do a lot of this yourself. Yes, it's going to suck. Yes, it's going to take a lot of time. Yes, it's going to be annoying, but this is something that has to happen for you to actually push and make this happen, okay? So you have two things. You have creative and you have admin. I'm going to give you a couple of things you can do here that we're going to put in the category of what I would call creative. Creative, website design. What's another thing of creative? Designing brochures, whether they be digital or, that's spelled wrong, digital or print. You're going to have to do this. What else? You're going to have to design business cards. And you can outsource this. You can have people do this for you. But at some point, even at that, you being a business owner, you're going to still have to deal with this, meaning that you're going to have to look at the creative oversight, look at it. Is it jamming? Is it not jamming? Is it the image you want? Does it have the message you want? All of that. This is coming. Okay. So these are just a couple basic things that all basic businesses are going to have to do. Okay. I'm going to put something else here. You're going to have to create what's called a one sheet. I'm going to do a special video just on a one sheet and how you can use that as a weapon and a tool when it comes to getting more work. So you're going to have to do you might say, what's the difference between a brochure and a web sheet and a one sheet? Okay. So this is one of the brochures that I have here. When I get out of the screen share, I'll show it. I'm not sure if you all can see this. This is a basic brochure that I have here. Okay. This is, 8.5 by 11 folded over. We put this in the mail. We drop this to certain key people that we want. This is a brochure. A one sheet is basically one and the same, where one sheet will be like this, but this is going to be, it'll be like one sheet like this, and it'll be a PDF, all of your main information with a lot of bullet points. So when you deal with a lot of executives, depending on what you're going to do when it comes to your side gig, when you're going to have to deal with decision makers, they're going to want to see what they call a one sheet. Send them a one sheet. It's easier for them to watch a one sheet than to try to send them a whole PowerPoint presentation. That's another thing. Let's go ahead and put that on that creative part too. Creative. You're going to have to maybe do some kind of slide presentation. A big thing now, very big, video. Let's call it media creation, okay? Social media posts, all right? So these are the basic things, creative. Now, depending on the space, me being in the entertainment space, I have a little bit more that I have to do on a creative front. So one thing that I have to do on a creative front is, if I'm looking at new magic tricks, or, changing older magic trick, writing new jokes from a comedy act, working on my keynote. Now, you're starting to get into a hybrid of both of those. And sometimes it's going to happen when it comes to your work. You're going to have a hybrid of something that's going to kind of be creative, but it's also going to work in the admin kind of category. So these are basic things. So these last four, I can delete because they really do. Some of it might apply to y'all. I guess I do have a lot of magicians and friends and entertainers that out here in the game trying to go full time. But what you need to look at is these are the main things for you. If you have a side business or you have a side hustle, you have to work on immediately. Because these are going to be your worker bees, and these worker bees are going to be able to get your information of who you are out, particularly when you're pitching people. Now, that's going to bring us over here to this. What are the admin things. Give you some things that you can do here. And some of these things you're not going to like, and I know you're not going to like them. That's okay. What are some admin things you're going to do? 1, cold calls. 2, cold emails. 3, D cold DMs, direct messages for any of you old timers who don't know what a DM is. Okay, old DMs. Let's see, some other admin things. You're gonna have all of this stuff over here. Okay, business cards, one sheet, slide presentation. So let's say postal run, taking this stuff to the post office. If you don't have a mail receptacle and all of this, okay, basic stuff. What are some other admin things? Just how about you're going to have to answer emails, return phone, okay? You're going to have to do these things. And what you need to do is you need to actually split your time. And I'm going to tell you how to do this. What you want to do is you want to work just like this. Have a circle here, and you're going to want to work 30 minutes a day. Now, you're going to hear that. You're going to think of it. It's like, that's easy. But here's the key. It's going to have to be 30 minutes a day for 6 days a week. I'm being nice. When I say 6 days a week, because being nice. Because in the beginning, if you're trying to take your side idea and you're trying to take it to that full-time level, you're going to have to go every day. Now, depending on your religious beliefs, you might not religiously believe that. That's okay. You have that right to observe that. That's cool. But if you want to bring religion into it, oh, Heavenly Father, the book that I read said he worked 6 days a week in the beginning. So you're going to have to do at least 6. I know that's not great news, but this is assuming that you got 8 kids, you have two jobs. You have a job that you work from 7 in the morning until 4 or 5 in the afternoon. You drive an hour, you go to another job, and then you're working another job from 7:30 until 10 o'clock at night, and you got 8 kids at home and, all that. Cool. So you have to carve out 30 minutes a day. That's going to have to happen. Taking out 30 minutes a day. Now, you could do this one of 2 ways. There's 2 different ways you can do this, okay? Kind of goes back to the old workout split. Any of y'all from the 90s remember how I used to work out before people did CrossFit and all that? Probably not. Okay, cool. All right, so you got 2 things you can do. You can do one day creative, and then you can do the next day admin. Or you could just split and do 15 minutes in creative, 15 minutes in admin each day. All right. There are days that sometimes it's going to be heavier than another. You might have one day where you're spending most of your time doing creative stuff. And then you might have another day. Me, with what I do, most of what I do, I don't spend that much time in creative. That's changing. But most of what I've been doing, particularly for the last 4 or 5 years, has pretty much predominantly been admin. I don't spend that. When I'm not on the road performing and I'm not traveling, I'm not in hotels. When I'm doing admin, I'm doing anywhere from the minimum, I would say, 3 hours to as much as 9 hours in a day just on admin, whether it be looking over a schedule, looking over the contract, getting back to somebody, answering an email, getting back to an email, sending a cold email, answering a DM, sending a cold DM, making a cold call, sending a cold email, deciding who I'm going to pitch to, looking for work, whatever the case is. So I spend quite a bit. And now I actually have people that work with me at booking assistants and have a main full-time assistant that we all spend 4 to 5 hours a day working on admin to keep my business going forward. So this is eventually what will happen when your side gig gets to full maturity, as they say. If any of you want this, I'll put this in like a PDF where you all can easily be able to kind of take this and kind of use this as a gauging tool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and answer a question that I know somebody's going to ask. And because this is a question I would have asked in the beginning when it comes to going from side gig to full time. Okay. Which is, okay, Dewayne, I've got this good idea. I know these things I want to do. I got these things I want to kind of create and all of that. Fantastic. I don't know how to structure an admin. I don't know how to structure what I need to do in an admin day. Okay. And this is what I'm going to tell you to do. All right. Move my camera here briefly. We're going to add another page. And I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. If you don't know exactly what you need to do for your admin day, what you need to do for your admin tasks, here's what you need to do. Very simple. Trash. Let's do better. You need to ask someone. Now, the most direct path of what you need to do is work with a coach, business coach that has done what you want to do or knows how to do what you want to do. And you all can sit down and build what's called a roadmap. Now, what you're going to say to me is you're going to say, I don't have funds for a business coach. Yeah. Okay, cool. This is as simple as what you can do. The thing about people that are in business, most people are in business. They want to help you at some level. And a lot of times you might get unsolicited advice. And you're like, you know what? I didn't ask you. That's okay. But that's because it's just the nature of what business owners, small business owners want to do. You think about yourself, whatever it is you want to do, there's something that you're doing in that side business aspect that's actually helping. You want to help someone. So here's why I say that. And I'm still doing my screen share here. You can ask. I want you to watch this currency. This currency is very valuable and it is expensive. You can find, make a note here, find 3 or 4 people, I call them cats, find you about 3 or 4 cats that have done similar to what you want to do, or they are doing what you want to do, or they're just at a higher level than what you are. If you have 3 people that you're doing some kind of business for and they have 10, well, they're a little bit higher than you. Find 3 or 4 of those people. Now watch this currency. You're going to go to them and you're going to say, this is where I'm at. And don't be greedy. Ask them one question. I want to ask you one question. Chances are they're going to answer that one question. You can ask them and say, what are some things I need to do in the course of my business day to elevate my business? And what that's going to happen is they're going to give you an answer. Now I'm going to go back here to my screen share. If you're on my slide, take that answer and go to work. Okay. Take that answer, go to work. I follow somebody, and it was funny that he's actually, and he blew by a lot of people. Myron blew by a lot of people. And I'm a golfer. I play golf today. He's a golfer. It turns out we are members basically at the same golf club and the same country club. When I have an opportunity to see Myron, I don't, because he charges a premium to talk to him. And I understand that. But me and Myron are cool because Myron was cool with me before Myron became as big as what he is. So he would see me, I would see him. He wasn't as big time when I first became a member at that country club. He's like, hey man, what's up? We see each other. Hey Myron, what's up? He said, hey Dewayne, what's up? I say, what's up? And we hit balls and I go practice, he go play, whatever the case is. As Myron has blown up, I've had to humble my stupid self. And when I see Myron, now I've seen Myron since I've done this. I've seen Myron probably 3 times since I've seen him. We'll cross at the same time. We're on the range at the same time. I'm hitting golf balls. He's hitting golf balls. He just got done playing or something like that. We cross in the parking lot, whatever the case is. When I saw Myron about 4 times ago, I saw him doing the same thing I'm telling you all to do here, respecting the currency. I know Myron charged a premium for what he does. Hitting balls. I said, Myron, I got a simple question for you. He said, yeah, what's up? And he was cool, and he answered it. And he answered that question. And I sat back, and I shut the hell up, and I took notes, and I shut the hell up. Because Myron is a hell of a lot further than I am. I said, cool. And then we went back to talking about golf, and he was hitting his ball. We had a little range monitor and all that other stuff. So I tell you that because I have since seen Myron since he gave me that one answer. He gave me that one answer. I'm executing on the answer he gave me. I have since seen him. I'm polite. Hey, what's up, bro? We exchange pleasantries. How's it going? How are you hitting them? How do you do this? Da, 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 da. And then I go hit golf balls. I don't try to keep milking Myron for information because that's not respecting his time. Myron gave me an answer. I don't have anything to talk to Myron about until I execute on the answer he already gave me. So I'm telling you that because if any of you do this and you say, I can't afford business coaching, okay, cool. You can find people that have done what you want to do, similar to what you want to do, and say, I have a simple question. They're going to say, what is that question? And you answer it. You ask it. I am working on this. What are some business things I need to do in the structure of my day for my admin day to work the way that it needs to work? They're going to give you an answer. They're going to answer you. They're going to say, do this or do this, or this is some things that I do. Take that and go to work. And when you apply that work, then go back to my slide here, okay? Then you will have the funds to hire a proper business coach. And I'm not pitching me directly as a coach. You want to hire me as coach? Cool. Find somebody that has done what you want to do, and they can prove it. They can show you financials and prove to you what you want to do.
If they don't show you financials, beware. Red flag. If they dance like Michael Jackson, when you asking them about financials, beware. Red flag. They don't show you financials. Beware. Red flag. Because how can they prove their advice is valid? They can't. I did a live, and we're going to post this on my YouTube channel. I showed one of the worst years I had, and it was a year of COVID, and still did close to 6 figures. But I did it because there's other entertainers in the space that talk about they can help